Can someone explain to me what we just watched? Because I don't know. I don't even know how to express it. Don't even know how to talk about it right now. What was Survivor Series? What was the hype? We waited a long time for this. We thought this was going to be an amazing hit it out of the park pay-per-view. And what do we get? It was pretty average. Now, I don't want to be one of those reviewers who only focuses on the negatives without touching on any positives, because there were some positives. There were some good things about this show. I think the tag team matches, the Raw vs. SmackDown matches, they did a good job of building up talent who need to be built up right now. They did a good job at furthering feuds between talent. And there was some good wrestling in there as well. All three of them. Some good wrestling. They weren't bad matches. From a technical standpoint, they weren't bad. They weren't amazing. I'm going to talk about this one time only, because I don't want to bring it up again during every single match. But if you're comparing this to what I watched last night, NXT TakeOver, it was not near as good. Not near as good. And they had half the time. NXT had half the time that Survivor Series had. Was this supposed to be 4 hours? I didn't actually look at how long this was, but 4 hours? It felt like it. This felt like a long pay-per-view. It took a while to get through it here. And I'm the first one to complain when matches don't get enough time. I'm the first one to complain. But this wasn't about the matches not getting enough time. The matches got enough time. But I'm talking about it felt long outside of the matches. It felt stretched. It really felt stretched out. And I don't want WWE to be running around backstage like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to get everything right in such a short amount of time. I want them to have that extra time to breathe, to get everything right, to make everything look perfect. But this was a bit too much. I don't think they needed that much breathing room. Everything progressed at just a very slow pace. And it just wasn't as exciting. Not one match tonight, not one, came anywhere near the 3 top matches, I'd say, of NXT TakeOver last night. The 3rd top match in NXT TakeOver was better than any of these matches. What was the 3rd? The women's match. My 3rd top match was Mickie James and Asuka, and I enjoyed that more than I enjoyed mostly everything. Maybe not everything, but mostly everything from this show tonight. It's the one time I'll compare it, and I think the only reason that this is true is just based on logic booking. NXT has completely logical booking. WWE, Raw and SmackDown, it's not always logical. Raw, it's never logical. But SmackDown, it's sometimes logical, but the majority, the overall, doesn't make sense. And I think you guys agree with me on that. I think you see that. I can't be the only fan who notices this. Oh. Alright, let's go through this step by step here. First match of the night, the women's match. I thought the women's match was good. I don't think it was overproduced. I hate the women's matches where they do that spot where all the wrestlers on the outside all gather around and one wrestler so obviously is going to dive out into the group with them and be caught. I hate it when they do that. Now, in the meantime, the reason they didn't do this in the women's match is because they did it in basically every other match during the night. But, I don't know. I'm glad it wasn't repetitive enough to be done 3 times. But, I don't know. I just like they had a lot of just technical one-on-one wrestling with some good matchups. it was pretty cool to see Becky Lynch fight Bayley. There were just some matchups that you're not going to get the chance to see, and that was kind of what this Survivor Series brought back to me. The Raw versus SmackDown angle of it, I enjoyed that. It makes it feel special when you're seeing one person fight another. It's almost like a fantasy match in a match. Hey, fantasy warfare makes sense all of a sudden. That thing I've been talking trash about for 2 weeks now. Not on YouTube, but just myself in my mind. I hated it. I think it was one of the worst slogans or catchphrases or whatever you want to call it for a pay-per-view. Fucking fantasy warfare. And I know it was mostly towards the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg match, but I don't know. The tag matches kind of brought that. They kind of brought some fantasy warfare. So in the beginning of this match, all the women come out, and Nikki Bella's music plays, but she is nowhere to be seen. We go backstage to a medical guy attending to her, and I don't know, her neck's fucked up, and she can't compete in this match. I don't know. Unexpected. Don't know why they did it. Who cares at the end of the day? I'm sure it's just going to end up being fucking Carmella or maybe Eva Marie, actually. Wouldn't that be something? Eva Marie returning, taking out Nikki Bella. I didn't think of that. The other option is it could have been Natalya for her to get into the match, because that's what happened. Natalya replaced her. I think they expected Natalya to have like a crazy pop when she came out because she's in Canada, her home country, and it didn't quite happen. Not quite. Little pop. Not what they wanted. But you know why she didn't get cheered very much in her home country? I think the writers are fucking idiots sometimes. We just send out Natalya. We're in Canada. They fucking love it. Too bad you've been treating Natalya like shit for what, her entire career? You haven't made her seem relevant for more than a minute. She seems like a fucking idiot. The shit you have her saying, and then you expect your home country to want to fucking praise that? Stand up for that and fucking cheer her? No. Against people like Sasha Banks who are actually over with the crowd. You can't do that. You can't. And that's what they did. They had fucking Sasha Banks and Natalya, and pretty sure Natalya was getting booed more than Sasha was. So just fucking stupid. The women won in this match. And I predicted they would. If you see my predictions, I predicted the women were going to win. And I also predicted the final three survivors being Nia Jax, Charlotte, and Bayley. They fucking eliminated Nia Jax. You know what? You can say it's fine. You can say it was a tag team match and it is okay, but if you're going to do one thing with these tag team matches, you need to use them to build up the monster talent. The fucking talent that you want to make seem invincible. Fucking invincible, not fucking invisible. But fuck, I guess that's what she is now, right? She will be invisible soon at this rate. No, you need to build them up. And this is just an easy platform to do it. And no one's gonna shit on you for doing that. People expect it. I think people want it. And then you just have fucking Nia Jax get eliminated. Whatever. Missed opportunity, but you know, I don't expect anything better. I don't expect anything different. I will praise you on keeping Bayley in the final two. I will praise that. It makes sense. See, that's half logical. Bayley is clearly going to be the next challenger for the Women's Championship, facing Charlotte. Charlotte even attacked her after the match, just furthering that. Cementing that feud. So it makes sense. Build up Bayley. They had Bayley fucking pin the SmackDown Women's Champion. They had Bayley pin Becky Lynch. So yeah, you put some more stock in Bayley. You did it. Congrats. That's fine. But I think you missed an opportunity, guys. I don't know. It's funny how in my preview I actually said Alicia Fox is only going to be used just to be fed to someone on SmackDown. And that's what happened. She just got fed to someone on SmackDown. And I also mentioned that while Alicia Fox is a good wrestler, that she tends to botch moves. And I said, maybe not Survivor Series, maybe not. But she fucking did. Her fucking scissor kick, axe kick, whatever they want to call it, just looked fucking awful. It looked so fucked up. Really, just, I don't know. Is it every match you botch a move? I don't know. Whatever. You weren't in there very long anyway. Doesn't matter. See you next year at Survivor Series, Alicia Fox. 12 months from now is when we need you again. Some decent stuff from Naomi. She wasn't in there very long either. I don't know, guys. It felt rushed. Some of the eliminations, I feel like there was no warrant to them, no purpose to them. You think that you could build a match where every elimination kind of had its own angle instead of just random eliminations. It's like I said, I call it feeding to people. Like on League of Legends, or like a fucking shooter like Titanfall, like we're watching right now, when you're just dying and feeding the enemy team. It's the same fucking thing. You're feeding wrestlers to other wrestlers. I don't think anyone really uses that term. I'm using it. Fucking feed, like Ryback, feed me more, right? He's gone, so I can say it. So I gave it a 3 out of 3. No, 3 out of 5. Fucking 3 out of 3. Perfect match, 100%. Fucking best match of the night. Better than NXT. No, guys, no, like, no fucking way. 3 out of 5. It was a bit better than average. I do see that. I can see that the wrestling was a bit better than average. That little bit of extra effort was put in, but it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't earth-shattering. Just a little bit better than usual. Whatever. I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, it just meant nothing. And is that the point of this pay-per-view? Is the end of the day, they built something up to be epic. They hyped something up to be big. And it just ended, it didn't really matter. It didn't matter. So what? One brand's going to look better at the end of the night. We're going to forget about this next week. Survivor Series is over. We're moving forward. SmackDown's got a fucking pay-per-view in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You think they're going to be dwelling on their match against Raw? Their women's division losing? No. Not a fucking chance. And that's the whole problem with this shit. Fuck. I don't know. Alright, next match. We're moving on. 3 out of 5. Next match was Sami Zayn versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. I really hoped they went with logic on this one, and they did. Thank God they did. Thank fuck they did. I predicted there was no way they were going to take the mid-card title, the Intercontinental title, away from SmackDown, and they didn't do it. They kept it on SmackDown. The Miz beat Sami Zayn with help from Maurice. Maurice is his new finishing move. Fuck the skull-crushing finale. Screw that. Maurice is his finishing move. She finds a way every match to help him win. They actually got creative this time. She rung the bell, making Sami Zayn think that Miz had tapped. And he lost focus, and of course Miz won. So I don't have a lot to say about this. You're like, how the fuck can you say that? It was fucking Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn match. Steal the show. Sami Zayn. And he's great. They're both great. They've both been performing consistently at a crazy high level. Really, really high quality level of performance by both guys all the time. But again, it was the same thing as the women's match. It was just better than average. Sami Zayn pulled out some of his special moves that he uses at pay-per-views and big matches. This was one of the matches of the night that I actually think felt short. And I wasn't timing these. Like, I wasn't paying attention to the time at all. But this felt shorter than almost every other match on the card. And I don't know if it was done that way to try to protect Sami Zayn a little bit. I don't know. Feels like it matters even less when you don't give it as much time as the other matches. But anyway, again, irrelevant. Raw versus SmackDown just feels irrelevant. This title stays on SmackDown. We pretend this never happened. This seems like it was more about The Miz against fucking Daniel Bryan. He was in the ring mocking Daniel Bryan, doing Daniel Bryan's moves, yelling out loud to watch this, Daniel Bryan. Really hope a match comes out of that. Please, if you're ever going to do anything, let him have that match. That I would want to see, especially with how well The Miz has been performing lately. Holy shit, put him in a match with Daniel Bryan. Give him 30 minutes. Match of the year. I'm willing to bet Miz has raised the game. Raised his level. Match of the year. Give him Daniel Bryan. Give him a main event. Do it. Please. Anyway, again, not going to say much more about that one. 3 out of 5. Second match in a row to get a 3 out of 5. Next match of the night was the Survivor Series Tag Team Elimination match. 10v10. 10v10. The big shocker in this one was the New Day getting eliminated almost instantly, right after Breezango, which was even more instantly. Who could have predicted that? Yeah, so Raw won this one. I was wrong. I really thought they were going to raise the game of American Alpha, have them be the final 2 survivors, or have them be there with Heath Slater and Rhino, have them rise up, and get pushed a little bit before they start trying to go for those titles. But no, that's not the direction we took on this one. And I actually predicted they would put Enzo and Cass as the last 2 on Team Raw, maybe have the New Day stick around with the club, and I was wrong on all that too. The final competitors on Raw were actually Sheamus and Cesaro. I didn't have an issue with this. Most tag teams on Raw right now, no one really gives a shit about anyway, so it doesn't matter which way this one went. It doesn't hurt the New Day. At the end of the day, it doesn't hurt the New Day. It just doesn't. It doesn't hurt Enzo and Cass. They're so over. It doesn't hurt them either. So if you're going to do anything, you might as well throw it to Cesaro and fucking Sheamus. And it works out. Cesaro got the sharpshooter, middle of the ring. Won with a sharpshooter in Canada. It's a good ending. It makes sense. He was partners with Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd used the sharpshooter. He got injured. He's still very close to Tyson Kidd. It was a good tribute, too. Really, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that part one bit. Give Cesaro a chance to shine. Give Sheamus a chance just to shine. Maybe build them up as a team a bit more. Are they credible now? I don't know. Maybe they're getting credible. Well, actually, speaking of that, they get a tag team title match tomorrow night on Raw, which they're not going to win because the New Day hasn't broken the record yet for holding the titles for the longest amount of time. So I think doing the match now is a mistake. I think you should have waited however many more weeks it is, schedule the match for the next pay-per-view, and then have the New Day lose the titles to Sheamus and Cesaro. Now instead, we're going to have them definitely not win the titles tomorrow. Maybe a waste of a match, I don't know. And again, maybe WWE says, screw it. Screw the longest reign. We need these changed now. It's getting old. The old day is coming. And you know how bad that segment was. We don't want the old day. This match wasn't as big of a clusterfuck as I thought it was going to be. They eliminated a lot of the teams early on. Heath Slater, Rhino had some nice moments. The club got some nice moments. The club got a good elimination. The primetime players, fuck. The pamphlet guys. Puerto Rico guys. Fuck. How can I not remember? The Shining Stars, yeah. See, that's how little I care about them. Don't even remember them. They weren't in there very long. American Alpha was eliminated a little bit early, which kind of confused me. I don't see the logic behind that. You probably build them up a little bit more. But they had good moments. They weren't completely wasted. They had some good moments in the match. I think there were still some wasted opportunities. Same as the first match. I think there was some wasted opportunities they could have taken advantage of a little bit more. Again, the wrestling was fine. Just good. Like typical SmackDown tag team title match, that kind of level. It was that kind of level of a match. Good. Not amazing. Third match in a row. I think it's a 3 out of 5 for me. So far, they're all the same tone. Please tell me if you agree on this. Please let me know, because I can't be the only person. But I honestly think the first 3 matches of this show, one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, were just simply above average matches. And maybe it's what they were given to work with, too. We don't know. I don't think these tag team matches, the way WWE books them, I don't think they have the same potential as a 1v1 match has in the company right now. It's not as much freedom. Too much is planned with eliminations in order, and it's just, maybe they're just not meant to be amazing matches. I don't know. I end a lot of sentences with I don't know, but it's just me thinking. It's just me thinking about it. Anyway, we'll move on from that one. 3 out of 5. Next match. The Cruiserweight division is on the line. Brian Kendrick versus Kalisto. I think some people are going to disagree with me here. I don't. Think about it for a second before you just jump the gun and disagree. Think about it. Maybe rewatch the match. I don't know. This was better than the 3 matches before it. This was a 3.5 out of 5. I might have even given it a fucking 4 out of 5 had the ending not been so fucking shitty. Kalisto and Brian Kendrick put on a show. They were given enough time. Brian Kendrick is one of my favorite wrestlers on the roster right now. I think he is the fucking Cruiserweight division. You got some good talent in the Cruiserweight division, but Brian Kendrick is fucking so unique in what he does. The man with a plan. He's really built that into his character, too. And it's good. It fits. It works. Kalisto was good. Brian Kendrick was good. Really good performances from both guys. Really happy they were given the time to do this. They did one crazy move where they were standing on the apron. Kalisto was, his back was to the floor. And Brian Kendrick was facing the floor. And I think they called it a Spanish frog or a fly. Spanish fly, not Spanish frog. Spanish fly, I think they called it. And it's where Kalisto just put his arm across the chest of Brian Kendrick and did a backflip. Onto the ground on the out. It was a brutal looking move. Brutal looking spot. I give them both props. Brian Kendrick hit the ground, laying on his back with such force. It must have hurt. He's going to be feeling that. He has to feel that. That might have been the most hard-hitting move of the whole pay-per-view. Really, honestly, it might have been. I think it was. And that alone, for me, that spot alone earns them that 0.5 without even the rest of the match. Easily. I don't know, maybe my second favorite match of the night. I wouldn't go all the way at top, but maybe my second favorite match was the fucking Cruiser. See, you know something is wrong. You know something's wrong when fucking Brian Kendrick and Kalisto is the best match on the show when you have all this talent. All this talent that's been used so much longer and been able to build characters for so much longer and have titles that have more prestige than the Cruiserweight title just because of the way they've been getting treated. But I guess I can't say that. I give them props. The only thing that sucks is Kalisto's not even part of the division. So how can your best Cruiserweight match be with someone who's not even in the Cruiserweight division? That's the part that's hard for me to believe. But either way, with all that said, really just 3.5 out of 5. Almost a 4. I'll tell you what ruined it for me. It ended with an interference from Baron Corbin. I'm holding my hands over my face. It's 4 a.m. and I'm here questioning why Baron Corbin interfered in the end of a fucking wrestling match. I don't know the reason, guys. He was in the men's singles tag team elimination match. The 5v5 men's Raw vs. SmackDown. He was in it. Then he wasn't. And he's rumored to be working with John Cena next. And what you have him do is come out and ruin the second best match of the night by costing Kalisto the match. Oh my god, guys. It didn't need it. We didn't need him on this pay-per-view. It didn't build towards anything. No one gives a fuck about Kalisto and Baron Corbin's storyline feud. No one cares. We had it. We did it for weeks when the brand split first started. We did it already. No one liked it then. Kalisto got injured and he comes back and you just resume it? You pull the best opportunity Baron Corbin's had and you just resume the shittiest feud he's had. God, I can't think in my mind of any reason. You ruined it for the crowd. You ruined it for everyone. Jeez, you should have just let them wrestle the rest of the amount of time that interference took. And it would have been I would have given it 4 out of 5, I think. I really enjoyed that match. I don't think I'm being biased towards it, but I really, really liked that match until the end. But whatever, you're going to do what you're going to do. Cruiserweight division stays on Raw. Fucking obviously. You should have had this match before the Intercontinental title match, guys. Clearly, if the Intercontinental title is staying on SmackDown, then SmackDown does not have time in its 2-hour show for the Cruiserweight division. At least if you did this match first, then it would still be a toss-up whether the Intercontinental title could go to Raw or not, because they have time for it. It's just these thoughts that the writers do not have. Vince McMahon doesn't have. I don't know. He's getting sick of this shit, probably. We are too, sometimes. The next match was the Men's Survivor Series Tag Team match, Raw versus SmackDown. This one, I was getting worried about it for a while. I was getting worried. It started to drag at points. It was a bit slower paced than a lot of the other matches we've already seen in the night. But it turned up. It showed up. These guys showed up tonight. 4 out of 5. I gave it 4 out of 5. Highest match of the night so far. Shane McMahon, he showed up too. He belonged there tonight. He belonged there tonight just as much as the other guys did. He pulled out some awesome moves, coast to coast from the turnbuckle, through the announce table to Braun Strowman. He killed Braun Strowman. Killed him. Funniest moment of the night. Definitely Braun Strowman getting counted out. And he's getting in the ring at the 9 count. He's just about to step up to get into that ring, get onto that apron to be safe. And all of a sudden, some little hands pull out from underneath the fucking apron and grab him by the boot, and they hold him there so he can't move. Fucking James Ellsworth, guys. Clap for James Ellsworth. Stealing the night. Oh my god. It was a good moment, and then Braun chased him up the ramp and threw him through some tables. Props to James Ellsworth. Props on your new contract, James Ellsworth. You really, really do deserve it. And I hope you go further. I hope you really change the face of what success in wrestling can be. Because I think you're doing it already. I think you're doing something different. The crowd is into it. Us watching at home are into it. I think people who weren't on your side, even wrestlers who weren't on your side, are now getting into it. Clearly the writers are into it, and that's all that matters, but that's not saying much. Either way, awesome moment. Team SmackDown won this one. So really, that means Raw won the night. Kind of. It makes sense, because you give Raw the women's, you give Raw the tag teams, then you give SmackDown the biggest match with all the main event players in it. So, kind of even on a level. Kind of even. But, what to say about this one? They fucked up with Kevin Owens. They did. I also didn't want to see Braun Strowman get eliminated. Even though I just gave props, because I laughed at it, guys. It was a funny moment. And because they did that to Braun in that manner, I don't think it really hurts him that much. I mean, who could have seen that coming? Even Braun Strowman. You couldn't really escape that. I'm fine with that. But even ignoring Braun's elimination, you screwed up with Kevin Owens, guys. He's your captain. He's your champion. And he got disqualified by hitting someone with the fucking list. Take that in for him. Breathe that in. Drink that in for a second there. The list took precedence over the fucking title and the champion. People have been saying for a while now that the list has become more important to the writers and to the storyline than the title and the champion. And I could see it, but I didn't think it was that bad until tonight, when the list got Kevin Owens eliminated, and then got Chris Jericho eliminated because he was too worried about picking up the pages from the list than wrestling in the match. What the fuck? Honestly, I think this stupidly enough, this is what's going to cause Jericho and Owens to turn on each other, is because Owens hit someone with the list and destroyed the list by accident. And now all of a sudden they're going to want to fight. Best friends over. Friendship over. Predicted right now. Friendship done. Stupid as hell. What a way to end a decent storyline, right? What a way to screw up a decent storyline. Jericho's still awesome. Crowd loved Jericho tonight. Chanting stupid idiot every couple minutes. As much as the crowd liked Jericho, they hated Roman Reigns. My God, guys. Every time Roman was on the outside, laying around waiting for his spot, they chant Roman sleeping, wake up Roman. They booed him every time he hit a move. And the problem is like I predicted, WWE wanted to make Roman look fucking amazing and invincible. He was the last one in this match against Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and fucking Luke Harper showed up. It was Roman 1-on-3 against the Wyatt family. And they fucking made him look like a credible threat, like he had a chance at winning it, and the crowd hated him. The crowd fucking hated him. I don't know why you do this. You always shove Roman down the throats of the fans. It made Bray Wyatt look like the fucking face. He's clearly not. He was getting cheered after he won that match. Fucking Roman Reigns. There was a cool moment with a Shield reunion too. Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles had some friction during that match. They kept getting in fights, and AJ pretty much helped Dean get eliminated. So Dean comes back, turns on Team SmackDown, teams up with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and they do the triple power bomb to AJ Styles through the announce table. That was a cool spot. That's the thing about this match, is the spots that happened were nice spots. I mean, these are big names in this match, so the good spots that happened were good. When they were bad, like the fucking list, they were bad. So when the spots were bad, they sucked. But when they were good, they were satisfying. Shane McMahon tried to do coast to coast to Roman Reigns and got speared midair. And it looked fucking insane. And it led to some kind of screwy pin, too, where fucking Shane didn't look like he knew where he was. And I couldn't tell if it was real or planned. At that point, I couldn't tell if it was a shoot. I don't know. I don't think it is. I think he's probably fine. But the way they pulled it off, man, when you're questioning it, you know it's half decent. Shane looked like he didn't know where he was. Roman went for the pin. 1, 2, and then the ref stops counting. There was no kick out or anything. The ref just stopped counting and realized Shane just kind of turned over a little bit and lifted his shoulder off the mat. So what the fuck? Was that planned? Shane, were you that out of it that you accidentally lifted your fucking shoulder up? Or did you forget you thought you were pinned already? I don't know. I don't know how it happened. But the ref kind of checked on him and he looked his eyes were glazed over, and then the ref just said he's out. And they announced he was out. They didn't say why he was out. He didn't get pinned? I don't know. I guess it was just KO, knockout. Said he was eliminated. The spot, though, anyway, it was great either way. It was a wicked mid-air spear. And I'm praising Roman there for that one fucking move this match. So, decent wrestling. AJ Styles got some sick moments. You got some good matchups, too. You got AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. You got fucking Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. You got Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. You had some good matchups in this. You had Randy thrown in there. We knew they were going to be good matchups either way. We knew this was going to be a high-quality match with the talent who were in there. And this match did feel like it was a tier above the rest. It did. It felt bigger. It felt more important than the rest. At the end of the night, the Wyatt family stand tall. And for the very first time, this is what that match accomplished for me. For the very first time, I don't feel like Randy Orton being part of the Wyatt family is a stupid decision. I feel like it fits, and it boosts Wyatt at the same time. I thought it was hurting Orton, but it's not really hurting him that much anymore. It's just boosting Bray Wyatt. And that's what he's needed now for so long. And that's what all these elimination matches did. They boosted the right people. The Wyatt family's getting boosted. Bray Wyatt's getting boosted. The Usos got boosted. Sheamus and Cesaro got boosted. Bayley got boosted. This is what they did. They boosted people who needed it. They fucked up a little bit on Nia Jax. She needed it. She didn't get it. She needed it and she didn't get it. But the other people they chose, for the most part, the tag team, they could have boosted the club. The club needed it. They did. But, I don't know. It could have been worse. They could have given it to worse people than they did. So we have to accept it. We have to accept that a pay-per-view that we were all really excited for, that we unfortunately have to compare to NXT TakeOver from last night had mediocre, barely above average matches. Or I'll go further, I'll say they were above average matches. We had 3 that were alright. Then we had 1 that was a bit better than alright. And then we had the men's elimination, which I would say was good or great. It was good. Good match. And then the main event happened. The mega match. I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. If you played that match out in WWE 2K17, if you simulated that match, it would have lasted, 3 times the length of the real match. The real match was about 2 minutes. I didn't count, but it was fucking short. This is where I'm going to stop talking about the positives. I'll start with one neutral point before I dig into this shit. This was only a smart move if Goldberg is planning on coming back for a very long time. And that's not a good point. I'm not saying that's a positive. I'm saying, I'm looking at, this is what's been done. This is what we have to live with now. Fuck you guys. But you need the plan. You need to plan it now. And I hope you have it planned already. I hope you know how long he's staying. Because if he's only signed on for 1 more pay-per-view ahead of this, then it was still not worth it. If he signed on to be on for the next 2 fucking years, main eventing WrestleManias, then, I could see it. I could see the logic behind it. But as of right now, we know that I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there's any chance that that's going to happen. Rumors before this match that fucking Goldberg was already injured. That he didn't get enough training. He got 6 weeks of training for this match. He needed more. His body was reacting weird. And the other point I just thought of that I will mention, this might have saved us from a very shitty Goldberg match. This might have been a saving grace at the end of the day. The result is not. But what we witnessed might have been. And I'll tell you, it ended the pay-per-view on a fucking high note. Because the crowd was shocked. So they were pretty into it, but they were shocked. It was one of those shocking Undertaker streak-ending moments, in my opinion. Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar in 3 fucking moves. 3 fucking moves. There's no universe where you can fucking convince me that this is okay, that this was even close to a good, smart idea. Any universe, you couldn't convince me. I guess the universe we're in is the fucking WWE universe, where any fucking stupid shit can happen. You've been building Brock Lesnar for the last 2 to 3 years as being this invincible guy. He's beaten John Cena. He's destroyed John Cena. He's beaten The Undertaker. Oh, I don't know. He destroyed Randy Orton. Destroyed him. And here we are. 3 moves. 2 spears. 1 weak-looking spear. 1 better spear. And a jackknife or a jackhammer. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar looked like a complete fucking loser. So right now, by your standards, Goldberg is good enough to beat The Undertaker, to beat John Cena, and to destroy Randy Orton. That's great. There's news reports flying all over the place right now that Goldberg is already confirmed for the Royal Rumble. Please tell me it's not in the Royal Rumble match. Because if it is, he has to win it. There's no other option. I hope he's just, if they're going to do this, bring him back for 1 more match against another guy. I get the feeling that if he comes back and he's doing singles matches, they're just going to build him up like his character was years and years ago, at the beginning of his career, when he just went out there and destroyed everyone. But guys, say this, every time you start to think of a positive about this, say in your mind out loud, or just say out loud to yourself, Goldberg squashed former UFC champion Brock Lesnar in 3 moves at the main event of Survivor Series. It's not looking good. I think we should all end it. It's not looking good at all right now for the product. This pay-per-view didn't lead me to a good place. It was half enjoyable. There's something I enjoyed in every match. I found the positives. I found every little thing that I could get joy out of and enjoyment out of. And it was... I'm trying to just think of those moments and say, you know what, half-decent show. But I think they made some big mistakes. And who cares what I think at the end of the day? It doesn't fucking matter, you know? They're going to do what they're going to do no matter what. But we really need to express when illogical booking is taking place over logical booking that the fans can get into. Because as fans, I don't think many of us can get behind the idea that this is going to work. Unless fucking, like I said, unless Goldberg is going to be back for 12 plus months. Probably winning the title at WrestleMania and continuing on. But we don't even know at this point if Goldberg is capable of wrestling a 10-minute match. Don't know how to deal with that one. I didn't even rate that match. I can't. I just gave it a 0 out of 5 or an NA out of 5. Not applicable out of 5. Get the fuck out of here out of 5. And that's it. It's the end of the pay-per-view. I liked it, but I didn't like it. I wanted to like it, but I don't. I was left disappointed. I was just left disappointed. Too much hype. I just want to go back and relive NXT TakeOver. I just want to go back and relive that pay-per-view. That was a good pay-per-view from start to finish. Not one match I would have removed from that show. But Survivor Series, I would have much rather had a different concept than what they did with the Raw vs. SmackDown. Only one of those matches even felt important. The other two felt like they were for nothing. And then the 2 singles matches, Raw vs. SmackDown, felt like they were for nothing. And then the main event felt like it was for nothing. I feel like it was a cheap way out. The whole pay-per-view seems like a cheap way out. But again, take my good points. Think about them. There were some. Don't think it's total loss. It's a loss, but not a complete loss. This has been WrestleTainment. Don't forget to check out my Twitter, guys. It's twitter.com/WrestleTainment, but the first E is actually the number 3. Just because. I use the Twitter to do kind of live ratings of the matches on shows as I'm watching them. I don't know if I'll do it on Raw and SmackDown yet, but I'm doing it on pay-per-views. I did it on NXT, did it at Survivor Series, and I post a lot of opinions during the week, and I also upload new videos when they're posted to my Twitter. So check out the Twitter. There's always shit going on the Twitter. It's not an empty Twitter. So thank you for watching this review. Please let me know what you think. This is one of those ones, guys, where I need other opinions. I need you to go in the comments and tell me. I need to know how off I am, if I'm right about shit, if I'm wrong about some of this shit. Because I don't think of everything. I'll go to bed now, fucking 4:40 in the morning. I'll go to bed, and I'll think about a million different things that I didn't mention that I could have mentioned, things that you think about afterwards when you're not just on the spot talking about it. This pay-per-view is big enough to do, like, a 3-part review to it. It really is. Because you're going to think about all these different angles and all these different things that you forgot happened, and it's just the way it is. It's a long, stretched-out pay-per-view. That was a lot of content in a short amount of time. Anyway, this has been WrestleTainment's review of Survivor Series 2016. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the Titanfall 2 gameplay. I'll be mixing it up with gameplay pretty soon, but right now this is the game that I'm just into every day. Awesome game. You should give this game a try. This is an awesome, underrated game. Deserves a 9 out of 10. I'm telling you, it does. Anyway, see you probably tomorrow or the next day for Raw and for SmackDown Live. See ya.